So I'm going to be sharing my screen and showing you the slides I made on Canva with all of the information. And this is homeschooling high school in Virginia. So if you missed it, my name's Melissa Huddleston. Oh, crazy slides. I homeschool in Virginia. I am located in Chesapeake on the coast. I have three teenagers, two of which are high schoolers now. So I'm going to be going over these 5 topics today. What classes are required for high school age children, what reentering public school in that age range looks like, how to graduate your learner, um, transcripts and diplomas, handling those, and questions and answers. So if you have any questions as we're going along, if you can put that in the chat. And then when I get to the end, I will take a look through them and address any that I didn't hit on these slides. So first, about me. I'm autistic. I have, oh my goodness, I can't handle these slides apparently. Appreciate your patience here. My laptop is being super sensitive to my touch. So I'm autistic. I have ADHD. I'm homeschooling my 3 teens. I have 3 rescue pups, which you can see here on the screen. Wanted to share their cute little faces. What I do for fun, outside of helping families like mine, I sell real estate here in Virginia. I do yoga, meditation. I'm about to get my teacher certifications with both of those. I love organization because I'm autistic. Love matching some mismatched socks over here. I love decor and art. Recently got into watercolor, and that's really fun. So, number one, what classes are required in high school? This is going to be very dependent on your learner and their goals. But in general, what I have listed here is what you're going to want to shoot for. Uh, some families may end up doing more. Some families may end up doing a little less. Again, this is very dependent on your learner. But if you were going to see an average, neurotypical, not disabled child, this is what you're going to see in general. This is very average, very middle of the road. For English, 2 science, 3 foreign language. Sign language counts as a foreign language, in case you weren't aware. 2 histories, 3 maths, which are generally algebra 1, 2 in geometry, and then 4 electives. So that would be, music or art or weightlifting, stuff like that, shop class. And then you want to consider adding volunteer work to their transcripts as well. I am requiring that on my kids' transcripts. That's why I included it here on the slide. So let me see if I can move my. Oh, I can. I can move my little subtitles. Okay. So things to consider when you're looking at your individual situation and your learner and their transcripts and what they're going to be taking is number one, do they want to go to college? If so, you check college websites for the freshman admissions page. Uh, you don't have to have the college picked out per se, but sample several colleges and compare what they say they want to see, and you're going to see an average pop up. And then depending on what you see that they're requiring, you're going to adjust what your learner needs to study and have earned the transcripts from there. So the previous page where I listed those core subjects and what you're in general will want to have. Maybe your child wants to go to a very specific college and they have a very specific thing that they're going to expect. That's where you're going to make those adjustments. If they don't want to go to college, then the classes from the prior slide should do just fine. And if they don't have college plans, and they have disabilities that are going to make hitting those ideas on the previous slide difficult, continue to make further adjustments based on their abilities and their goals for the future. So re-entering public school during high school years, this is something you don't want to have in your idea universe, simply because public schools don't, at least in Virginia, um, and at least from the stories of people who have shared their experiences, you should not expect for your public school to accept any credits that you've given your learner already towards their high school diploma. So, for example, your learner completes ninth grade, 10th grade at home, and then they're like, man, I really want to finish out in public school. And so you go to enroll them in the public school, and they say, well, okay, but we can't take many of these classes that you say that they've taken for ninth grade English and science and history and 10th grade English and blah, blah. We're going to have them redo all of these credits. And no one, that's not ideal for your learner. Your learner is not going to be happy about that. It's a lot of time lost, a lot of effort lost. So you want to make sure that once you start homeschooling high school, that you are in it until the end. Of course, it's not a, end all be all. You can go back into public school if you need to. There are absolutely situations where I can imagine a lot where you have to put your child back in public school during the high school years. Just don't have this as like a backup plan you want to choose because it's not going to go in your favor. This is kind of like a last decision on your list. You don't really want to start homeschooling high school and then go back to public school because it's not going to work in your favor most of the time. So again, if you're going to start homeschooling in the high school years, you're in eighth grade and you're looking towards an eighth grade, you need to be committed to sticking to homeschooling. And fun, graduating your homeschooler. So I spoke with a woman a couple weeks ago about this. We had a one-on-one meeting, and it was, I think she was expecting it to be a lot harder than it is, as we all do. I tell people how to do this, and it's still kind of mind-blowing for me. Um, the only thing you have to do legally is notify the superintendent's office that your learner has graduated in the same way that you send your notice of intent or your proof of progress every year, whether that's email, certified mail, in person. You communicate to them, hey, as of May 1st, 2024, my child so and so has graduated high school. And then, of course, in your correspondence, you want to include your general contact information. So if there are any questions, they can get in touch with you, but nothing else is needed. You are not required to send them your transcript that you've created for them. You are not required to do any sort of testing to show the public school system that they're able to graduate. This is 100% your decision. You decide when they're ready to graduate. And you can graduate them sooner than you would expect, if your learner's 16 and they're ready to go, or they're 17 and they're ready to go. It's the same thing. It's wild, huh? So, a little more information on graduating. Definitely don't give the schools any more than is legally required, because then they start to feel like they're entitled to that information, and then they'll start asking it of other people. And I know that as anxious parents, we want to really make sure we have our tails covered, that we're doing everything we need to do, that we did this well, we did this well, we want to show them we did this well. And that leads us to over complying and giving more information than is really necessary. But we can't do that. And this would be best managed if you educate yourself on the law so that you don't feel that need to send more information than is necessary. We need to really protect our rights as homeschoolers. So, how do you educate yourself on the law? Very simple. You go to this lovely website right here, hslda.org, and they have it very well formatted there and easy to understand and look through. I still refer to this website when I'm sharing law information with parents just to make myself feel more sure. I know it, but the last thing I want to do is give people the wrong information. So I'm constantly referring back to the law myself. So this is a wonderful website to look into and make yourself feel more capable in understanding the law. You do not want to trust the schools to understand the law because that's not their job and they do not do it well. So transcripts and diplomas. Again, this is on us, just like when we decide that they're ready to graduate. We are the ones that make the transcripts. We are the ones that give out the diplomas. However, we can hire this work out, and this is something that I've done for other families. So reach out to me if you need me to handle it for you. It's absolutely not difficult for most people if you have the time to research it and put it together. There are a lot of free resources out there that you can find easily with a Google. Transcript templates and stuff from the Department of Virginia, the Department of Education of Virginia will give you all sorts of useful information about what a transcript should look like. And whether or not your learner wants to go to college, you need to make sure that they have a transcript. Everybody needs to have a transcript. This is usually another top of the list question I get is how do I decide how many credits they've earned? And again, this is our decision. And you'll see a full spectrum of parents out there talking about how they do it. And you'll see those who purchase complete rigorous curriculums and they have a really strict and regimented system for calculating the GPAs and the credits and how many hours the child spent on the subject and all of this. It's a lot, right? And then you'll find parents who never use curriculum and assign the grades and credits based on how well they feel that the learners mastered the topic. And for those of us who weren't homeschooled, maybe we were in, public school or private school, this can be a wild concept, very different than what you would expect, right? But Miss Pepper here says that you can do it with her smile. So I feel like a lot of parents end up sending their kids back to public schools, private schools, and in the high school age because parents feel really unprepared or incapable of the high school content, and they're afraid of failing them. And just reach out to me, and I'm happy to give you a little bit of support in that. I have a lot I could say on that. I'm not gonna, say something ableist and say, everybody can do it because that's absolutely not the truth. But there is a lot of misunderstandings out there, misconceptions. Our situation, our society makes us feel like we're not capable when we really are sometimes. And so that's what I'm here for, to help people feel like they can, to really explore whether or not they can, because maybe you can. I do have one question that was sent to me via email about a learner in high school who is interested in the NCAA. She's a gymnast. If you Google NCAA and homeschooling, the NCAA has a page on their website that lists everything you need to know that they're going to ask for you as a homeschooling family. Very is a very well put together page. So I recommend checking that out. And another question I got was how to make homeschooling cost effective. And that's a good question. And in 2024, the choices out there to do this cheaply, to do it efficiently, to do it, um, economically smart. There's so many options out there now. It's really exploded and it's actually overwhelming the amount of options out there. There's a lot of free resources, a lot of free content. There are stores, at least here in Virginia Beach, there's one. I don't know about the rest of the state, of course, that sells used curriculum. You can purchase used curriculum, I'm sure, online somewhere. I love teachers.payteachers.com. You can filter through the the resources on Teachers Pay Teachers and just pull out all of the free content and it'll show you only everything that's free. You can open up the filter there and say, okay, I don't want to pay any more than $5 for a piece of for a resource, and it'll show you, everything under $5. So I love Teachers Pay Teachers. Great resource. So I'm going to look at the chats now. Okay, so Bonnie, can the proof of progress letter include that they've graduated? Sure, why not? Absolutely. Um, Actually, you know what I would do? Because at least me, if I'm writing the evaluation letter for proof of progress, right? I think I would prefer if when you send out my letter, you attach an additional document to it saying from you saying that that the learner's graduated. Um, I don't think that's not legally my choice to say that they're graduated, so I wouldn't want that on my stationery with my signature. I would just type up a quick document, just a few lines, like I said on the slide, and send that along with my document. Send it at the same time. That's cool. Miss Rivera, when you have a mindset of public schools, it is very difficult to feel that they are learning or that you have taught them properly. I am learning this as I go. My child uses an online curriculum and a workbook for math. She has a B in math when she had an F prior. Great. All her other grades are A's. Sometimes I believe it and it doesn't feel accurate, even though it is. My child is learning at home. Just because it isn't a school building doesn't mean they can't learn. Shoot, you're right about that. I mean, just, one of my favorite things that I had a conversation with a mom this week was think about your day and what you're doing all day from start to finish. Are you learning something throughout your day? You probably are, right? You have a goal and you're figuring out how to reach your goal. And I think that we forget that even as adults, even as parents, we're still learning all day, right? And so learning isn't something that's just done at school. Learning should be as natural as breathing to us, and it follows us no matter where we go. It doesn't start when we step inside a school building. It doesn't end when we step outside of the school building, right? So absolutely. We save us so much time having them at home. I can't imagine like all the hours wasted, honestly. I'm not going to get into that, but I hate the thought of my kids being back in those buildings all day again. Anybody else have a question? You're welcome to unmute or type. Bonnie, they have so much less stress when at home versus a brick and mortar school. So scared, but Melissa has made it so much less stressful. Thanks, Bonnie. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I love doing it. When we're stressed and we're uptight, can't really be the parent we want to be. We can't really be present with them, right? So I really love being able to help parents relax a little bit so that they can be a little bit more present with their kids and be a little bit better parents, right? Yeah, anybody else got any questions? This is a big topic, so my son just turned 18. He is homeschooled. He is planning to graduate next May at 19. Do I still have to report intent? No, no. So the law is if they have turned 18 by September 30th, that you don't have to submit an NOI. So um, if he's turning 18 August 2024, that means he will have been 18 on or before September 30th, 2024. So therefore, no, he is no longer under the Virginia law of homeschooling between 5 and 18. So nope, no NOI. And Miss Rivera, I've learned a lot from this as well. It was scary at first. This is our first year homeschooling. Isn't it terrifying? I mean, that's how you know you're a good parent, I think. I honestly haven't met many parents who didn't start this journey not terrified, right? It's not something we see a lot about or hear a lot about. So that makes it scary. Michelle, do I still have to do proof of progress since I did the intent for 2023 this year? Okay, so your proof of progress is due August 1st, 2024. So if he is not 18 prior to August 1st, then you're still going to want to send in that proof of progress because that's the due date for that. Did I explain that well? Okay. Yeah, the due date for your proof of progress every year is August 1st. So if they're between 5 and 18, they have to follow the law and have that proof of progress sent in. Um, yeah, even if he turned 18 on August 2nd, it's due August 1st. So I would still send a proof of progress just to, follow the law to a T. I'm not going to give them more than they need, but I definitely won't not give them what they're asking for because I don't like to ask for trouble. So yeah, if he's 17 on August 1st, I would send that proof of progress for sure. Anybody else? So I did the letter of intent last August for this year. He turned 18 in January. Okay. So technically you needed to send the intent because he was not 18 as of September 30th of 2023. So that you're right in having submitted the notice of intent, even though he didn't turn, 18 until January. And so now that he's 18, he is not subject to the the law anymore. So no proof of progress for him this year if he turned 18 in January. Now, if he didn't turn 18 until the day after the proof of progress was due, so August 2nd, then yeah, you'd want to send that proof of progress. But if he was 18 in January, then not necessary. I answer that well, Michelle? I know it's a lot of numbers and dates, and I get mixed up a lot. So please let me know if I need to continue explaining. I have no problem doing that. Yes, okay. I just want to make sure I'm doing what I need. Yeah, right. There's a lot of dates. It's the age cutoff is September 30th of every year. So if someone's between 5 and 18 as of September 30th, they have to follow the education law. Um, September 30th is the cutoff date. So if the child didn't turn 5 until, October 1st, then he didn't meet the cutoff date, right? But if they turn 5 on September 29th, then yeah, they have to, that's the cutoff date. So once a child's 5, they have to adhere to the law, and until they turn 18, the day they turn 18, they don't have to adhere. And our proof of progress is due August 1st of every year. That can be done via evaluation or a nationally normed standardized test. And evaluation is something that I do. It's probably most definitely my most popular service. And your notice of intent is due August 15th of every year. I'm not sure why they put 2 weeks between those due dates. You do not have to send them separately. You can send them together. Send your notice of intent with your proof of progress by the 1st if you want. Ms. Rivera says, so once they turn 18, you only send the letter stating that they've graduated, or you send nothing at all. So it depends on if they've graduated. So once they turn 18, you no longer have to, send proof of progress or notice of intent. You only have to send that, hey, they've graduated notice if you're going to stop schooling before they're 18. So that they know not to expect any more of that communication with you. But if they're 18 and they're still learning and you're still not technically graduated, that's totally fine. You don't have to graduate at 18, right? You can continue on. You don't have to send anything at all. But if they're going to graduate prior to aging out of that law, then you do want to send a notice to the district and let them know that they won't be hearing anything from you because you're done. Did I explain that well, Ms. Rivera? You're welcome. Anything else? Anything at all? Okay, well, if that is it, I'm going to conclude in the webinar. And I appreciate you guys for showing up and contributing and listening in. I hope I answered all your questions. If not, you are welcome to message me with anything at leadingwithlove2010@gmail.com. I'm going to type it here in the chat. I appreciate you guys being patient with my Canva presentation being all over the place. You're very welcome. Reach out to me for anything I can clear up. Check out the hslda.org website. It's full of really good information. Empower yourself. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. You're welcome, Clarissa. Bye.